Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. So for today's video, I actually picked up a couple of new releases by Huda Beauty. So we have the Naughty palette, and we also have the Faux Filter Skin Finish Foundation Stick. So just so you know, I did not swatch anything, I didn't touch anything, so I saved it all for this video. But before we get into the video, if you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and join me in my little YouTube family. Alright, so diving right in. I actually got these shipped from Sephora, so I purchased this the day of launch, but because I live in Canada, for some reason Sephora takes so long to ship to us Canadians. I don't know what it is. It might be because I'm from the East Coast, I'm from Nova Scotia, so maybe people who are living in Ontario or Toronto get it faster because their warehouse is more up that way. But every time I order a new release from Sephora, it takes like a week's worth of business days to get here. So when anything ever new launches, I'm always one of the last to get it if I order it the day of. So with that being said, I ordered this Naughty palette. So what intrigued me most about this palette that made me want to buy it is definitely the colors, but then also like these marble like textures in here. So I'm just gonna hold this up a little closer. Don't mind my ratchet nails. It's been a long month at work. So if you can see all of these really pretty marble colors, we have this like super cool shade down here called Slippery that I am so excited to actually see how that swatches on the back of my hand. And to go along with it, I also wanted to pick up the foundation stick, the newish one by Huda Beauty. So because it is a foundation stick, I tend to think that it's going to be a little bit drying. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of moisturizer. And I actually got this in the same little package that this stuff came in from Sephora. So this was actually one of the choices from the birthday gift that Sephora usually gives out the month of your birthday. My birthday was in November. It was November 6th and I turned 29. So, you know, I haven't really cared too much about my birthdays and getting older because when you're in your 20s it's not really a big issue, but for some reason when I turned 29 and knowing that it's my last year in my 20s, I was kind of just like, you know, oh, okay, like we can stop right here, we don't have to keep going. So within this little birthday bundle, it's by Charlotte Tilbury, we do get her Charlotte's Magic Cream, and we also get a little thing of lip gloss called Rose Jewel. So this is such a pretty shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Magic Cream as moisturizer before the foundation stick, because like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit drying. So I haven't used this moisturizer before. I don't know if it's like a night cream or if it can be used under makeup. I don't know the situation with this, but the side of the little thing says instant turnaround moisturizer. So I'm guessing it's okay for under makeup since she is a makeup brand. I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingers and I'm just going to make sure my skin is nice and moisturized so I don't get any pulling from that foundation stick. And one thing I find about my skin is, if you can see my skin right now on camera, it is very blotchy. So like I don't have bad skin, I don't have like blemishes or anything like that, but I find when I am not wearing any makeup, which I am very self-conscious about, by the way, like even if I have to go out anywhere, even if it's to drive Joseph somewhere and I'm not getting out of the car, I have to wear a little bit of something on my face just because I'm very self-conscious about the blotchiness and uneven skin tone about my skin. So if you guys have any recommendations about anything that, you know, can help in that area, I would greatly appreciate if you commented on this video with any suggestions that you guys may have. Okay, so this cream actually feels really nice. That is the moisturizer. So again, this was the Charlotte's Magic Cream, this little tiny mini one. And I'm not really going to try the lip gloss because I'm just going to get foundation all over my lips anyway, and it's not going to be a fun time. Now we're going to go in with this one. And I got the shade Vanilla, so I'm usually pretty good at judging what my skin tone, like what my skin shade is going to be in terms of like foundations if I'm ordering online, but this one had me a little bit confused. So I'm not sure if this is going to be too light or if it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good, but I did have a hard time choosing my skin tone with this one. Okay, so I'm just going to go and start swiping this on. Okay, I think this actually might be a pretty good shade for me. because I'm starting to lose, like, well, I'm not starting, but my summer tan has almost disappeared. Okay, so I don't know what kind of coverage this is going to be, so I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to go in with a Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just going to start blending this out. Okay, so I'm going to go in and add a little bit more just for extra coverage because I can still see some of my redness under the first layer. I'm just going to go in and start tapping this in as well. Okay, so I actually had to turn the brightness down on my ring light where my camera is because when I applied this, I looked so white, like it was insane. So I felt like my face was glowing. So if it looks a little bit darker, that is why. Just to kind of give you guys a more accurate impression about like shades and whatnot. So as of right now, I am happy with what 2 layers of this foundation gave me, and it is very skin-like. It is definitely not too dewy, but again, I can't really judge that because I did use this moisturizer. It looks like skin, so I see a little bit of dewiness, but I actually like that in foundation. So if you guys do suffer from dry skin, I would suggest moisturizing before you put this foundation stick on. I am going to go in with some concealer. I'm going to go in with my all-time favorite concealer. I love this so much. It is the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer. This is in the shade NW22. So I'm just going to apply this under my eyes, and I love to conceal my eyelids because I don't use a primer, like an eyeshadow primer, so I kind of use that as a base. And I'm just gonna go tap this in with the same sponge that I use for foundation. Okay, so that looks good just the way it is. So I'm gonna go in with some finishing powder. I do like to bake under my eyes and just kind of set my face a little bit. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This is in the shade 05 Fair. So I just loaded up my sponge and I'm just going right under where we put concealer under my eyes. And I'm just putting a generous layer of that, and I'm just gonna go right up my side of my nose, and I like to put a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my forehead just to kind of balance out the lightness that this powder is going to give. Okay, so while that is doing its thing, I am gonna go in and do some eyebrows. So what I'm gonna be using is this pomade by the brand QUO Beauty. I did a whole like different little review on these guys a while back, so go check that out if you were wondering. But this is the QUO Beauty Sculpting Brow Pomade in the shade Ash. So I am going to be going and doing this off camera just because you guys kind of know, you know, how people fill in their brows. So I'm just going to go do this off camera and I will be right back. Okay, so eyebrows are as good as they are going to get, and I'm just going to go in and wipe this bake off just with any kind of tapered brush. And once that's kind of rubbed off, I do like to just kind of go in with any remnants that are on the brush and just kind of like tap around my face. I don't like to take any more excess because I don't like that completely like totally matte look. I like there to be a little bit of, you know, like skin texture in there, so that's why I don't go in and kind of set my whole face with powder. I just kind of set under my eyes and a little bit on my forehead and chin, and whatever's left I will just go in and just kind of use up what's left on my brush. I'm gonna go in with this MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape contour palette. This is in the shade Light Medium. So this is what it looks like. It gives you all the colors that you need, gives you like those nice ashy kind of cool tone browns. And it also gives you this shade up here, which is called Emphasize, and I love that to kind of brighten under your eyes. So I'm just going to go in with the Morphe R1 brush. Excuse the dirtiness of my brush. I am not one of those people that wash my brushes every single day. So what I like to do is I just kind of like to dust in all 3 of these shades and just go right in and start applying that. And I don't usually contour. I usually just ever use bronzer. I don't think I've ever really contoured, and I know sometimes on my channel I will say for contour I'm gonna go in with this, but I'm not actually contouring. That's just me getting mixed up with the terms bronzer and contour. Not that I think that my face needs to be any slimmer or that my nose needs contouring or anything like that, but I am kind of curious of what I would look like with a contoured face. So I might try that someday on my channel because I am a little bit curious about that. And I don't know if you guys can hear the wind outside, but it is such a windy day. I think there's wind warnings for all of Cape Breton. And my fiance Joseph actually left to go camping today with his best friend Scott. So not sure how that's gonna turn out. They were gonna go in a tent, but I think they just settled with going to my dad's cabin for the night because it is sheltered. It's like an actual little cabin in the woods. So instead of pitching a tent and being soaked and everything, they just did that instead, which I think is a very smart idea. So needless to say, I actually have the whole day and night to myself, and I haven't decided what I am going to do with my alone time yet. It's been a very long week at work. I'm working a little bit more now because I did get a little bit of a temporary promotion. So I've been kind of busy with that, and I do work 2 jobs, so I've been busy with the 2 of them. So I do have 1 day a week where I don't have to work any jobs. So that's usually when I film my videos, but things have been getting so hectic lately and I've been getting tired, and when it comes to my 1 day off, I haven't really been feeling coming in here and filming. So today I was like, you know what, it's been a couple weeks since I did a video. I want to come in and play with makeup, and because I have the whole day to myself, this is like the perfect opportunity. So for blush, I think I'm going to go in with this one by Lancôme, and this is the powder blush in 345 Rose Fresque. So that's kind of what that looks like. It almost reminds me of Desert Rose by MAC. So it's kind of that like nice rosy kind of shade. And the only thing with this one is I wish that it didn't have this little empty side here, because it came with one of those like little flat brush blushes that nobody really uses. So I'm just tapping into this with my trusty Sigma Powder Blush Brush F10. And I'm just going to apply this to my cheeks. So that is good for blush, and it kind of looks like I have a lot on, but I like to kind of go heavy on the blush because this is like one of the first things that weirdly disappears off your face. So by the end of this video, it'll look like I don't have nearly as much on as I do now. Okay, so now we are getting into the fun part, which is the eyeshadow. So again, this is the Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette by Huda Beauty, and I seen these shades on Instagram and I was like immediately intrigued because I like warm tones, I like browns, I like mauves, I like pinks and like purpley pinks and berry tones and things like that. And so again, this is just kind of right up my alley. I know you all are wondering the exact same thing. What on earth is this shade down here called Slippery? So I actually need to swatch this before we go any further, because this is probably 50% of the reason why I bought this palette, like no joke. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with one of my fingers. Oh, okay, so it's like a cream. So it's like it gets jelly, and then all these little balls are kind of stuck in the jelly, and the jelly's kind of wet. So as I'm moving it around, that's what's kind of happening to the pan. So it's just kind of swirling around in there, and it's like kind of wet. So it feels almost like a wet cream eyeshadow. So that is interesting. So I'm just going to see what this looks like swatched on my hand. Okay, so it almost looks like a lip gloss. I don't even think you guys can really see it in the camera. It's very sheer and lip glossy. So I'm not really a fan of that texture. Like, it literally feels like I just put lip gloss on my hand. So we're not going to be using the shade Slippery today, just FYI. I think that would ruin the entire look. I'm not even sure how you would use that because it's so glossy that it feels like it would sink into the lines and make my eyelids crease. So we're just going to step away from that shade for a little while. But while we are here, I do kind of want to swatch some of these marble shades. So I kind of want to swatch this one up here. So this one is called Passion, and we're just going to swatch that one. And ooh, that is so pretty. That is almost like a purple shade that shifts like a holographic blue. So that is a really nice shade. And while we're at it, I kind of want to do, let's do Flower Power. So this white nudie one up here. So I'm just gonna take that and swirl some of this. So when you put your finger in it, the shades kind of do blend together, like they do kind of blend, so they don't stay marbly. So that's kind of disappointing, but I mean, it is what it is. And this one is that shade. Ooh, okay, so that's like a really nice gold topper. It might be kind of hard to see because my lighting is so like bright, but it's actually like a really nice thin gold topper. So that would be a really nice topper shade. Okay, now that curiosity is out of the way, we can actually begin to apply this onto the eyes. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into this shade up here called Hypnotic, just to put some in my crease. So I'm just going to take my Morphe E23 brush and just apply this into my crease. Whoa, okay, and that is very pigmented. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the shade. I think I'm going to go in with this one. It's called Filthy. It's like a really light pink. I'm going to go in with that one on top of the last shade, just to kind of add some like pinky vibes to that. Ooh, okay, so that is a really pretty shade to go with the other one called Hypnotic. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit, and I am going to go in with the shade Rough. So it's this one right here. And if you haven't noticed, all of these shades have a naughty name to them. So there's even one in here called Hard. So I'm just going to tap into Rough a little bit, and I'm just going to focus this on the outer portion of the lid. Same with over here, just to help build it up. Okay, so I do like to kind of build up my bottom lid just a little bit before we keep going, just because it helps me to kind of see the direction that we are going. So to build up my bottom lid, I'm just going to mix Hypnotic and Filthy. They were the first two shades that I used, so that brown one and that pink one. I'm just going to mix those together and apply that to my bottom lid just to give it some color. I'm going to go in with a little bit of that darker brown that I just put in the outer portion of my crease, and I'm going to apply some on the lower lid as well. And now I'm going to darken up the crease even more with this one down here, and this one is called Naughty. So I'm just going in and focusing this right on the outer V of my lid. So I'm going to add some of that same shade onto the bottom lid. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to bring this last shade over like all the way across my lid and kind of do like a little spotlight halo effect. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to tap some of that dark shade right in here, just on the inner portion of my eye. And I'm just going to connect the two sides by doing windshield wiper motions. Okay, so now that I look kind of crazy and my eyes look kind of bulgy, we are going to go in and deepen that up a little more. We're going to go into the shade Untamed. It's like a really nice purpley burgundy color. So I'm just applying this into the outer portion, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the inner corner, and I'm going to take that shade and pull a little bit down here as well. Okay, so this eye is looking quite dramatic at the moment, but you can't have a palette that's called Naughty and not go all the way with it, if you know what I mean. That's where we're taking this. Now we're going to add a shade to the middle, and this is where things get a little bit hard for me to choose because I'm very indecisive and I cannot figure out which shade to use on the middle. So I just swatched a couple on my hand just to kind of figure it out, and I think the route that we're gonna go is I am going to go into this one called Irresistible right here. It's like a more pinky one, and I might top it with a different one. So I'm just gonna go in with my finger pick some of that super nice metallic shade up. Like, these are so buttery, these are so nice. And I'm just gonna go in and apply some of that to my eye. Oh, that is so pretty. That is a really nice shade. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna top it up with this one called Shameless up here. Again, super buttery and metallic, and this one is like shifting almost like a gold and pink. So this is a gorgeous shade. So I'm just going to, ooh, okay, I really like that. If you guys can see, that's like more pink for sure. Wow, okay, I'm so happy I went in and topped it with that shade because that is so pretty. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm going to try to put that Flower Power shade right here on my inner corner. And I'm going to be using this little brush, and I think I'm just going to try to get some of the white shade without getting too much of the gold, because I do like a more icy inner corner. And I'm going to add some under my brow bone. Ooh, that is pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit of liner, and I think I'm just going to go in with the shade Spicy. So this darker, it's kind of like a really vampy purple. So I'm just going to go with this little Sigma angle brush right here, and I'm just going to pop into Spicy. So I'm just lining my lash line with that shade. Okay, so I am getting a lot of fallout from that shade. So I'm just going to wipe some of this away. And I'm going to add some to my lower lid as well into the lash line. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of mascara. So I'm going to be going in with Maybelline the Falsies Lash Lift. This is almost gone, and I have to pick up another one because this turned out to be one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. And I don't want to put too much on because I am going to be applying lashes. Alright, so now that mascara is done, I am going to go do lashes off camera because sometimes it takes me like 2 minutes and sometimes it takes me 10 minutes. So I don't know how long I'm going to be, so I'm going to go try and apply these MAC 76 lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, so lashes are on and they look really nice with this look. They're like nice and full and wispy. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with some highlighter, and I'm using MAC Double Gleam highlighter. One of my all-time favorite highlighters. It is so nice. It goes with anything. Super nice champagne-y shade. And if you guys can see, this just gives off the most nicest glow on my nose, because I like my nose to be a little bit shiny. And I usually like to put some above my brow bone and a little bit on my cupid's bow. So for my lip color today, I think I'm going to be using a couple of MAC liners. And if you guys like to apply liner all over the lips as a full lip color, I do want to share with you this little gem right here. So this is the MAC Prep and Prime Lip Primer. So this is such a good product, you guys. So this is what it looks like. You literally just apply it on your lips, just like a lip product, before you put your lipstick on, your lip liner, anything like that. And what it does is it hydrates your lips, and it acts like a lipstick tape, if you will. So it's going to prevent feathering, bleeding, anything like that, and it's going to make your lips stay hydrated, and it's going to make the color stay on longer. So this stuff is perfect if you are going in with any kind of lip liner as a full lip, because it's not going to dry your lips out. This is going to keep your lips hydrated while this stuff is going on and giving color, because if you don't use that, you probably notice that your lips get a little bit dry over time and a little bit chalky. So this is going to definitely prevent that. So first off, I'm going to be going in with MAC Soar Lip Liner. So this is just going to be most of the lip color. So I'm just gonna go in and apply this all over, and you can see with that Prep and Prime, it literally just glides on like butter. It is literally like the best lip product. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, go check it out, go get one, go test one, whatever you need to do, go try it out for yourselves, because you will be in love. So now that Soar is on, I'm going to be going in with another one. This is one of my favorites. This is called Edge to Edge. It's like a really nice rosy pink. So I'm just gonna go in and literally just apply this right over that other shade. Alright you guys, this is the finished look, and I have to say that I am really pleased with how this turned out. I absolutely love the colors, and I really love the colors on the lid. Alright, so first off we have the foundation stick. So I have to say this foundation stick actually worked really well for me, and I am not a big foundation stick person. I have tried a lot of them in the past, and the only one that I seem to like as of right now, actually there's two that I really like right now. I like the Hourglass one, and I do like the MAC one. So this is definitely up there in the other two that I really love. I do love this one a lot. It worked really well for me. It worked really well for me when I put moisturizer on underneath, because it didn't give me any dryness, any pulling, anything like that. It literally just glided on like butter, and it smoothed out really well. I did have to apply 2 layers just to kind of get it to the right coverage that I was happy with. But I mean, overall, this is so good. So I really like this. I can see myself using this a lot in the future, so I am actually really pleasantly surprised with this foundation stick. Okay, so the Naughty palette. I actually am so happy with my look and how it turned out and all of the different shades in here. I love this color story. I love the metallics in here. I love the marbling effect that some of the shades give off. The nudes are really pretty, like it gives really nice transition shades, and some of these shades are dark enough to use as liner as well, which is what I look for in an eyeshadow palette. And I will say the only thing that I don't really like about this at all is this shade Slippery. So I'm just gonna give you guys a nice close-up. So if you guys can see, when I put my finger in and swirled it around, it kind of left this really, I don't know, messed up kind of mixed mess. And when I swatched it on my hand, it literally felt like lip gloss. So it's not the texture that I look for in an eyeshadow palette. And yes, it definitely is something different to bring to the table in the beauty world. I don't think the shade is something that people are going to like a whole lot. So overall, do I recommend this palette and foundation? Yes, I do. I love this palette so much. I can see myself getting a lot of use out of it. Alright you guys, so that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more by me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for the support that you have given me so far, and I will be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye!